So this today's video is in continuation to the video I did yesterday on natural ways to reduce your high cholesterol. If you listen to it, I mentioned that the first step to reduction of your cholesterol in your blood is to reduce your saturated and trans fats in your diet. So in this video, we are coming to delve deeper into what saturated fat is, what are their sources, and what are some of the ways to reduce saturated fat from your diet. So to begin with, a saturated fat is a type of fat that is solid at room temperature. When I mean solid at room temperature, it means that without you putting that fat sources in an excess heat, or without you putting that fat sources in a refrigerator, okay, if you just leave it in your room without applying excess cold or excess heat, all right, that fat source should be liquid at that room temperature. If that fat solidifies in that room temperature, then that fat source is termed as unsaturated and saturated fat. And this kind of fats are typically present in meats, animal sources. They are usually found in animal sources. So we can have like meat, we can have dairy products, we can have butter, we can have cheese as well. And so the American Heart Association recommends that each and individual limits their saturated fats intake to about 5 to 6% of their entire meal. Now, it is very difficult to determine that the food you are coming to eat or the meal you are going to eat for the entire day contains that less than 6% of saturated fat that American Heart Association is recommending. So in order to also meet that, I'm coming to give you some recommendations or strategies to employ in order to help you reduce your saturated fats intake in your food. The first step we are taking is that we said choose lean meat. What do I mean by lean meat? Lean meats are meats that are without fats. All visible fats are taken off, and the content can be taken off by way of cutting it off if they are visible, or by way of grilling, or by way of smoking it. Okay. Another option to take is taking a skinless chicken. You know that when you have your chicken, or when you go to buy your chicken, the skin, beneath the skin and beneath the skin are the places or the hidden places of these kinds of fats. So it is good to take the skin off your chicken, okay, before cooking. Another way is to breast, or what's called as the turkey breast, or if you're a fan of pork, it's recommended that you take the loins of the pork, because within the loins of the pork are lean meat compared to taking the skin, which is high in fat. Another way is to use low-fat dairy products. So skimmed milk and low-fat milk is a good alternative for you. So whenever you hit your supermarket or ShopRite to do your daily shopping, make sure you read the labels and identify that the milk that you are buying is made of low fat and is made of skim fats, as well as getting a low fat yogurt as well. We also cook with vegetable oil. Vegetable oil is one of the oils that are best compared to animal sources. So we have soybean oil, we have sunflower oil, we have extra virgin olive oil, and we have extra virgin coconut oil. Now, when you read so many literatures, they classify coconut oil as a part of saturated fat sources. But I beg to differ. In all my workings, or in all my practice, where I have counseled patients who have high cholesterol issues, and the oily fat sources that they are taking is extra virgin coconut oil, and after 3-4 months they return back with a marvelous results where their cholesterol issues have been normalized. So I recommend extra virgin coconut for you, I recommend extra virgin olive oil for you, I recommend soybean oil for you, I recommend sunflower oil for you. Okay, you also have to limit your intake of processed foods. Now, most of these processed foods are high in saturated fat, so it is important to read food labels to choose the food sources which are low in fat. We also say include more plant-based diets in your meal. Okay, so you can replace most of your foods with vegetables, you can replace most of your food with fruits and whole grains as well. Okay, so this one will also help. Cut back on high fat sauces, snack and dessert. Avoid high fat snacks, which include the potato chips, which include our fried foods, which include our candies. if you are looking forward to reduce our saturated fat sources, then it's important we locate this kind of snacks that are very high in saturated fat, such as potato chips, such as fried yam, baked products, and others. It is important we identify them and take them off. But do you know one interesting thing? A cohort study was done among 21 cohorts, and they realized that a 5% increase in their saturated fat corresponded to a 17% increase in their risk of getting a heart disease. So you see that when you the study implies that when they studied a group of people for a very long time, where they increased their saturated fat intake by 5%, and at the end of the study, they realized that the percentage of people who have developed the risk of developing a heart disease has increased by 17%. And another meta-analysis of the meta-analysis is a study of so many researches that has been done. So they combine 8 different results. That's 8 different researches that was done, and they found that replacing saturated fat with unsaturated fat resulted in 14% reduction in the risk of heart disease. So in this place, the saturated fat, which is the bad oil, they replaced that bad oil with unsaturated fat, which are the good oil. And at the end of the study, they found that those people that consumed the unsaturated fatty acids, okay, had a 14% reduction in their risk of getting a heart disease. So what then is also a trans fat? Now, a trans fat is a type of unsaturated fat that is typically found in processed food. Okay, any food that is processed, any oil that is processed. Okay, now it is believed that these oils are being exposed to heat, and these oils go through the process called hydrogenation, and it is the process that increases the lifespan of the oil. But through these processes of hydrogenation, the oil turns towards a trans fat, and they are very bad for our health. And they are present in baked products, they are present in fried products, they are present in what? Margarines. Okay, so you see, this sources of butter and margarine are most present in our cookies that we eat. Therefore, most of the biscuits we eat, most of the buffaloes, most of the cakes and whatever we eat that are baked, since they contain margarine or other forms of butter, okay, they have hidden sources of butter in there. And therefore, if you are looking forward to reduce your cholesterol, you have to identify all these kind of processed foods and take it out from your diet. Another research, a meta-analysis, was done on 11 different researches, and they found that 2% increase in their trans fats resulted in 23% increase in the risk of their heart diseases. And also another 20 meta-analysis that was done among different cohorts also found that higher consumption of saturated fat among that cohort resulted in 34% increase in their risk of diseases. So this matter of saturated and trans fat is a very serious issue that we need to take care of, because in our daily activities, whatever that we eat, okay, have one way or the other this kind of hidden sources of trans fat and saturated fat. We eat from outside. Okay, we bake our products, we fry them, we do so many kinds of things which have these kinds of saturated fat in there. So these are some of the strategies that I have elaborated previously that will help us reduce our saturated fat intake. At my next video, we will delve deeper into how are you going to incorporate your fruit, what are the ratios of fruit and vegetables that you are going to replace with some of your main meals in order to ensure that your cholesterol levels are reduced. Thank you very much. Like, comment, and share. Bye bye.